Welcome back to Tri-City Sports Now. I'm Marky Billson. Tomorrow, by the way, Mercer comes to town to play ETSU. ETSU putting their undefeated Southern Conference men's basketball record on the line. They're 7-0. I did not realize, really, how good the women at ETSU are. I know they're not, well, they're tied for first with Mercer themselves. In for first place. Then Mercer will be traveling to ETSU on Thursday for women's basketball in a first place showdown there. But, Mercer 18-2, ETSU, but playing a real tough schedule, 12-8. One of the things, my friend Paul Zeiss, who's a columnist for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and is a friend of the show as well, he often makes appearances and such, kind of started at EMB as well. The circumstance that I wanted to put out, he wrote a column, and I didn't realize this, but earlier this year, ETSU had beaten Duquesne, not a lot of, who's Duquesne? A-10 opponent, and all this. Lady Dukes, or they call them the Duchesses. I'm not sure. Duquesne has only lost 3 games on the female hardwood this year. That's a good team that they defeated at Brooks Gym earlier this year. So there have been some, major opponents like Tennessee that have, beaten ETSU by a lot of points, by about 30 early on in the year. But the program is improving and could be in first place all by their lonesome with an undefeated conference record. So in the 9 o'clock hour of Thursday Eve, should they defeat the team formerly known as the Teddy Bears. Mercer female teams were known as the Teddy Bears up until 1991. Did you know that? Now you do. All right, I did want to talk a little bit about this. We had earlier on in the show talk about Mike Vrabel becoming the new head football coach of the Tennessee Titans. Let's talk a little bit about that here, play a few sound bites. Mike Vrabel talked about his vision for the Tennessee Titans, and here it is.
Talk about the right 53, not the best 53. We want a big, fast, strong, smart football team that's disciplined. I think when you talk about discipline, not jumping off sides late in the game, you're able to take advantage of the other team's mistakes. We won't make critical mistakes. We're going to do everything we can not to make critical mistakes. So we're going to try to be a disciplined football team as we possibly can.
Now, not all sounds well and good, but I'm telling you, there's going to be a late turnover somewhere next year. I mean, just football. It's going to happen, okay? So don't... But anyway, do I get to jump up and down on Vrabel with golf shoes if that does happen and say, you said that? All right. He does, however, realize his most precious asset is his quarterback, even if the running game does work very well with Henry and Murray for the Titans. And they're, you got Walker to throw to, certainly. But anyway, so the idea here is, Tennessee Titans are going to get some help from Marcus Mariota.
Do things that are going to help them. We're going to put guys around them that are going to help them. We're going to get him to play with confidence. We're going to get him to play energetic and bring the passion of football out that he's so capable of showing. That's my idea for him. And there's not going to be a greater relationship that I need to foster and develop than the one with our starting quarterback.
Now, here's a downside, and there may be many, of Mike Vrabel. I said, you'll either sink or swim, and what I mean by that is I don't see too much of this staying the course. Titans go 9-7, 8-8, possibly 10-6 next year. I see him either falling way down because you fired a playoff coach, and now, who are you going to bring in? You bring in a defensive coordinator from a 4-12 team. Or you bring in someone you always thought when he played, that guy would be a good coach. And the new young blood is the shot in the arm that the Titans need, and so then they would start to win even more games. And have a real, sort of challenging for a bye. So when I say sink or swim, I mean, I really think there'll be a real significant impact. One where They'll either win or lose. Well, I guess that takes out the tie, huh? You know, I'm really going out on a limb there, aren't I? Okay. There is, though, one, say, negative caveat of the Vrabel hiring, and it's the fact that the only defensive coordinator I have ever seen fans wear jerseys of to a football game, and yes, to a Pittsburgh Steelers game when he was the defensive coordinator of the Steelers. I once saw a Steelers fan wearing a Lions 44 jersey to honor Dick LeBeau, but he has probably, and we talked about this yesterday, after 59 years in the league, not going to be on sidelines anymore. The former defensive coordinator, his career, the assessment from Adam Schefter.
Probably the end. Now, could somebody call him in and bring him in as a consultant, have them lend his wisdom and advice to their defense? Sure. But he's not going to be a defensive coordinator again. Maybe he can help out somebody in some kind of consultant advisory roles, but his coaching days are probably behind him right now.
He is, however, an icon.
And an icon in the NFL. There's not many people who are more respected than Dick LeBeau. Saying that, there aren't many people also looking for an 80-year-old coach. He's been involved in the NFL for 59 straight years. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's beloved by his players. But when you get a new coaching staff that comes into Tennessee, the way that the Titans hired Mike Vrabel, they want their own people.
LeBeau coached Mike Vrabel, for crying out loud. Of course, he is real laid back.
It's all right. Going into the sunset and playing golf. There aren't many coaches who can shoot under their age in golf the way that Dick LeBeau can. But he can go out tomorrow and shoot a 79 and beat his own age.
Good point. Anyway, one of the great careers in the NFL. I hope he is a consultant. I hope we don't see the end of Dick LeBeau. I mean, he's Dick LeBeau. He's a legend. Like I said, he's a Hall of Famer. They're in the playoffs because of Dick LeBeau.
And Erwin, always stalking your favorites and always the